Aww.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yes.
I love that song.
Nobody croons like Old Bean.
That's right. That's right.
What a crooner he
That's
was.
the Christmas song.
That is it.
Even though there is another song that says the Christmas song, that really is
That
the Christmas
really is the Christmas song. And that is the show/movie we're going to talk about today
That's
when we
right.
make our
Bûche de Noël.
Which means
Yule Log.
Yule Log.
Yule Log.
An edible Yule Log.
Yes. It's a beautiful dessert, but it's a little complicated, but don't be scared of it because you can do it. There's just a lot of steps to it. So we're making it in 3 parts, which is what you have to do. We're making the sponge, which if you don't know, if you've not watched the Great British Baking Company show, it's the cake. So we make the cake, then we make the filling for the cake, and then we make the frosting for the cake. So we're going to start right off with the cake.
Jumping right in.
So we're going to prepare our pan. Now, if you notice, this looks like a regular sheet pan, but see how thin it is? This is called a jelly roll pan. It's a little bit smaller than a regular pan. So this is about the width of our cake. It's about a ½ an inch. So you want to make sure that your cake comes off the pan. If the cake does not come off the pan, it's very sad.
There ain't no bûche de Noël if
That's
the cake don't come off the pan. And you know, people think about a sponge, it really will be the height of this pan.
Yeah, maybe a little higher.
That's exactly what you're going for.
Yeah. All right, so then we put down a layer of parchment paper.
You sprayed and double.
Well, we're not done yet.
Ooh.
So we've got the parchment in there, and then we're going to spray it one more time.
Okay.
Because there ain't no bûche without the sponge.
No, there's not.
All right, so we've got our pan ready to go. All right, so we're going to use 2 mixtures on this. You don't have to, but since we have one, we're going to. I'm going to ask you to put the 3 egg whites in the mixer and mix them up.
I haven't said that in a while.
Will you mix those up for us until they get nice and fluffy? And then we're going to put sugar in to make the stiff peaks come. So
we're making some meringue.
Making some meringue,
All right,
yes.
I'm on it. 3 egg yolks in.
Okay, and I'm going to put the eggs in here. Okay, and we're going to beat the eggs up. So I have 3 egg yolks, and I have 2 whole eggs. And we're going to put those all in to the mixer, and we're going to beat those up until they get nice and frothy.
3 egg yolks?
3 egg yolks. It's the egg yolks from those 3 egg whites. So those 3 are separated, and then we put 2 whole eggs in as well.
That'll be a nice rich sponge.
Yeah. Now the reason we're using the meringue is because it brings a lot of air into the cake. So if you notice, we have a whisk over there and a batter beater here.
Yes.
So they're very different because
Having the right tool.
the whisk will bring the air to the egg whites, which is what we're going to try to do. And when we incorporate the egg whites into the cake, it's going to lighten it up, and we're just going to fold it in instead of beating it. So
I have to say, that's one thing, you know, the bûche de Noël, there's a lot of steps. And you look at it and you think, oh my gosh, it's going to be so rich. But because the sponge is so light, it's really a light, beautiful dessert.
There's only 1 cup of sugar in the whole cake recipe.
That will not be true for the icing, but that's okay. That's okay.
So we're making a vanilla sponge today.
Vanilla, okay.
You can also make different kinds of sponge. You can do a chocolate, you can do a butterscotch, whatever you want to do, and that would flavor it through the flour. So if you wanted to do a chocolate, we could put the chocolate powder in.
Cocoa powder.
Cocoa powder in there, yeah. All right.
You know what else would be really nice? An almond.
That would be nice.
Just a little almond extract.
A lot of it has to do with what you want the cake to look like when it's done.
Right.
So, all right, so we're going to put 3/4 of a cup of sugar in. And let that blend in. And you'll know when the eggs are done, or as fluffy as you want, because they lose that bright yellow color. They're a little lighter. If you want to come around there and show them the lightness of the eggs. See how they're not as bright as you started? That's how you know they're ready to go. Okay, so you're going to leave that in for about 1 minute. We're going to add some wet ingredients next. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of good vanilla, because this is a vanilla sponge, and 3/4 of a cup of water. So Barb?
And that's good vanilla, so it's on the good list and not the naughty list.
Yeah. You might want to do it just a little bit more so they're a little stiffer.
Okay.
Just a little stiffer. Okay? Now, we've got a cup of flour, a teaspoon of salt, get all in there, salt, and a teaspoon of baking powder. We're going to get that all together. And we are going to sift this into the cake batter.
Oh.
Sifting, sifting, sifting.
Stiff peaks over here,
Perfect.
Chef.
Perfect. Show the stiff peaks.
Look at that. It's like a little dollop. Isn't that
Perfect.
nice? Like a perfect curl and a little elf's head. That's what it looks like. Little Hermie. There we go. That's pretty.
You can bring those over to the center island here. I'm going to put the flour in, mixture that we've sifted. So there's not a lot of flour in this.
I'm showing it off again. Look at those stiff peaks.
Beautiful.
Oh, that looks good.
All right.
Lovely. Need a spatula?
No, I'm just going to throw it right in.
Okay.
All right. Let me take your spatula from you.
Yes.
Remember when you mix to always stir at the very end to get everything that was left at the bottom of the bowl.
Because those KitchenAids are great, but they don't always get all the flour off the bottom.
Exactly. All right, so we're going to add.
Are you going to fold it in?
We are a little bit at a time. About
I couldn't be more
half
clear.
at a time.
Just fold it in.
Yes. So when we fold, what you do is you go through half of it and turn it over. So half and turn it over, because we don't want to deflate the egg whites.
Keep that air in there.
What you want to do is get rid of the streaks of white in your cake batter.
Well, speaking of white,
Yes.
while you're folding,
Yes.
our show and movie is White Christmas.
White Christmas. That tied in nicely.
Didn't it
Very
tie
good.
nicely? Of course, it was briefly on Broadway. It tours a lot, and it's done regionally a lot at the holidays, of course, because of the theme. The movie came out in 1954, and then it premiered. The show itself premiered in 2000 at a near and dear theater to my heart, because it's where I grew up, St. Louis at the Muni Outdoor.
Yes. The largest stage in the world,
Yes,
isn't it?
beautiful out there. I grew up watching shows as a kid there. And one thing I found interesting, the book was written by David Ives, who wrote All in the Timing,
yes.
who wrote Venus and Fur. You know, he's kind of a very witty, funny author, and I thought, what a great choice. Of course, the music and lyrics by
Mr. Berlin?
Mr. Irving Berlin.
Yes.
And it played on Broadway just for a brief time from 2008, November through January of 2009.
Yes, and I think you probably know this, but White Christmas won the Oscar for Best Song in a Musical.
Oh.
Or Best Song in a Film.
Best song in a film.
Yes, but the interesting thing is, it wasn't from White Christmas that it won the Oscar for.
Right, it was it from, oh, I'm blanking.
Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn.
Yes.
Holiday Inn with Danny Kaye. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And Holiday Inn not recently, but not too long ago, made a revival on Broadway.
Oh,
And I went and saw it.
fun show.
It is
Who
a fun
was in
show.
that?
I can't remember. It wasn't big names. They were American Idol kids.
Oh, okay. Well, I have to give a shout out to local celeb Ryan Wersing, who's a Kansas City born and raised and has been on Broadway in many shows. But he was in the Broadway production of White Christmas, and he started out in the tour right out of college. So that's kind of a fun little local connection.
That is.
And he's such a good guy.
It's come to Kansas City 2 or 3 times.
We saw the tour here, and I
saw-
just thought it was delightful.
David Elder was in it. A couple of the things.
Okay.
It's not. You don't know David Elder?
Should I? Is he related to Elder Price or Elder Cunningham?
No, he's not. He's a different Elder. All right, let's get back to our cake for
Woo!
just a
Look
second.
at that. That looks very airy.
Yes. Let me wash my hands real quick.
Okay.
We're gonna take this
want
offset
me
spatula.
to-
So you want to do it if you want to. We're gonna take the offset spatula and we're gonna
Just gently spread it.
Gently spread it across.
Because we want it to fill up the whole pan. We don't want it to spread out on its own because we want uniformity here because it's got to roll up.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to start on the filling.
Okay, and as Kevin was saying, you know, you can do different flavors. You can make this chocolate, but what you want to keep in mind, what's so dramatic and beautiful, is when you slice into your bûche de Noël, you see all the rolls and the filling, and so you want all those different colors. So if you're going to do a chocolate cake, then you're going to want a vanilla filling probably. You can put things in the filling. You could put in pistachios, cherries, things that would make Christmas colors or holiday colors, peppermint, anything like that. If you wanted to do more Hanukkah, you could do blueberries. No, you could have a great blueberry filling. So, you know, have fun with that and look for different things that are going to make beautiful fillings and color contrasts. There we go. Doesn't it look nice? Okay, Kevin, it's ready to go.
All right, I'm going to get my whisker
into the oven. Should I pop it in?
Hang on just a second. Let me clean this off.
Well,
yes, we're going to go. Sorry, it's going to go into the oven at 375 for about 12 minutes, but we're going to check it at 10 because what we want to happen, we want it to be firm on the outside, but we want it not to be really firm in the center because remember, we're going to roll this up. Okay, let's put it in there.
Okay, here we go. Nice.
Let's put it in for 10, and then we'll check
10
it.
minutes, yeah. Yeah, that's one you always want to check.
Yeah.
You don't want it overdone.
You don't want it overdone.
It'll crack.
All right, so we're ready to work on our filling.
What kind of filling are you making?
We're doing a mascarpone vanilla filling. So the first trick on the filling is to put your bowl into the freezer. So see how cold it is?
Yes.
Okay. And we're going to put 2/3 of a cup of heavy cream. Remember I said there wasn't much sugar in that first, so we can put the heavy cream.
That doesn't mean it's not loaded with fat.
So now we just let that whisk until we get stiff peaks on that.
Don't make it turn into butter.
No,
Keep an
don't
eye
let
on
it go
it.
too long. And the rest of this recipe is very simple. This goes over there for just a second. We have 1 cup of mascarpone cream, and we have 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. And then here's the trick for your filling. If you want your filling to stay white, use clear vanilla. Clear vanilla. There you go. Don't use the dark vanilla because it will make your filling dark. So
now you could throw some things in here like some cherries, candied cherries?
Yeah, you would do that at the very end.
Yes,
at the very end.
if you wanted to, this is kind of a palette, if you would.
Yeah.
To add some things.
See how fast this is? You want to come around here and take a picture of this.
And part of that's because the bowl is so cold.
Yeah.
It didn't take very much time at all.
You can start with a warm bowl and start with warm milk or cream, but it just takes a little bit longer.
And even when I do meringue, sometimes I'll have a chilled bowl. I think it just helps the process.
I think so too.
I'm gonna get you a
See, we're just about there. Maybe 10 seconds, 10, 15 more seconds. And that's exactly what you want it to look like.
Stiff peaks again, but not.
It looks like the meringue, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I'll put that back on there. And then this is very easy, thank you. I'm gonna put the mascarpone in there.
Now tell me a little bit about mascarpone.
Mascarpone is an Italian cream cheese. That's basically what it is. And
Which means it's better
yeah.
than regular old cream cheese.
It means you have to go searching through the market to try to find it.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about this is I was at Hy-Vee and they had it on sale like for less than half price.
Ooh.
So
it's not inexpensive.
It's not inexpensive.
No.
And a whole cup is usually the whole container. So they had it on sale pretty well. I thought, I wonder if I can freeze that mascarpone because I use it quite a bit. So I bought 4 of them and put one in the freezer, and it works. You just thaw it out.
Find it on sale.
Yeah, find it on
Grab
sale.
it.
All right, we're going to put our powdered sugar in. So this is really very easy. And then we're going to put in our
clear
vanilla. And remember, when you're using powdered sugar, start it on a slow speed.
Yes. We've told that story before.
Start it on a very slow speed.
Or it will be a white kitchen in addition to a white Christmas.
Okay, why don't you watch that until it's finished? And I'm going to bring our
creamy and rich. You just
I'm
want
going to bring our finished cake out.
but we won't do that.
Hopefully we'll have time to show you how we roll this up. But when it comes out of the oven, we'll roll it up immediately after we take it out of the pan, because if you don't, you'll get cracking in the cake. So I put a piece of parchment paper on the top. This is a towel that I have put powdered sugar on. So you see there's some powdered sugar on the outside. I made this yesterday, so it's really keeping that,
Perfect.
circle.
Yeah, and I would say you want to be generous with that powdered sugar on the clean dishcloth.
Yeah.
Because it helps with it not sticking, and it also gives it that pretty white outside. I'm going to.
And remember, if it doesn't look perfect when you pull it off, you're going to cover it with frosting anyway. So,
Frosting covers all the sins.
yeah. So you want to leave this rolled up for about 30 minutes. Now I did this last night, so it's a little harder to get off, but it's still working.
But you can do it. You could do it the night before and let it cool.
Yeah. You definitely want it to cool, because that filling is going to go in it next.
Right.
And you don't want that to run all over the place.
I'm gonna get one more whip here.
So we've got that. I'm going to pull out, are we done with that?
Yeah.
So I can use it?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Cleaning it up.
Another spoon. We're about a third of the way there, folks. Stay with us. It's worth it, trust me.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
There we go. There we
All
go.
right.
Oh, that looks pretty. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this and this.
So I start from the center when I'm putting my my filling in.
Because it's going to ooze out a little bit.
Yes, and also you probably won't use both ends, because you're going to trim it up to make it look nice.
Right. It's because, well, this kind of looks like a log. We're going to make it look even more like a log by doing a strategic cut.
Why don't you get a spoon or something and help me put this filling in? We'll do double duty, make it go a little bit faster. Mmm. That's pretty good. Put this in there. Yeah. The other thing about doing our frosting is that we don't want to frost it all the way to the edge here. We want to leave about an inch from this edge, because we don't want it to ooze out.
Okay. I'm kind of spread that down a little bit.
I'm going to unknife. Well, this spoon might work a little bit better.
So pretty.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to have to let you.
Yeah, I'm going to need some of yours. Put it down here.
Okay. There.
Be generous.
Ha, ha, ha.
Now, if you're very precise, and if you were on the British baking show, you would practice this 1,000 times. But you want your
This looks like right here.
you want your filling to be the same thickness as the cake, and that's for master chefs, which we might be one.
You're going to have to fill in the holes. This plastic
that
is
plastic
taking.
is. That's why I got this.
Yeah, that's perfect. There you
All
go.
right. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes. Oh, that looks great.
All right, so now is when you could,
Yeah.
you could, see I went too far up there, but that's all right.
No, that's okay.
This is when you could put your peppermints in, or anything else that you want to put in there.
I'll just clean that up just a little bit. There.
And you get to keep tasting. That's the best part. Oh, there's more. All right, now you want
there
to
we
help?
go.
You want to help me roll?
I got to dry my hands.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Lift and turn. It's like a yoga mat. Oh, yeah, look at that.
All right, and there we have it.
Oh.
And you want the seam side to be down. And it will just sit there for you. All right.
Oh, that looks great. Ta-da! Now what do we need on top of it? We need some frosting, right?
Frosting.
So we're gonna set this. I'm gonna bring all my stuff over here.
Take a look at the side here.
Oh yeah.
It'll look better when we cut it, because remember, We didn't frost all the, or we didn't put the filling all the way to the very end.
And we're gonna trade out here. A well-oiled machine. So I'm just doing a chocolate buttercream frosting because logs are typically brown, and it'll look so nice with the white cake. I've already creamed my butter, okay, and all of the measurements will be online. And then I've got half a cup of cocoa, some milk, my clear vanilla, and powdered sugar. Okay, so here we go. I've already creamed the butter. I am going to add some of the milk and get it kind of moist.
Here's a view of our cake.
Ooh, look at that.
So this is after about 10 minutes. And you see it's starting to get brown around the corners. So we're going to leave it in for just a little bit longer. So I'm going to put 3 more minutes on it. See, it all depends on your oven.
Boy, isn't that the truth.
And this, in case you haven't figured out, this is not a dessert that you decide you've got people coming over at 7 for dinner and you're going to start at 6:30 and make this.
No, this takes some time, but let me tell you, it's so impressive.
Yes.
When you bring it out to the table.
Lots of oohs and ahs.
Before and while you're eating it. It tastes great and it looks
Yeah,
good.
that's one of the nice things about this recipe is it does taste as good as it looks.
I'm just slowly incorporating my powdered sugar. A, so it doesn't splatter everywhere. And just to kind of keep an eye on the consistency. And once it's getting kind of where I like it, I'm going to start working in my cocoa. Also slowly. Because you don't want that to fly all over the place. Here we go. Come on, baby. There we go. Now I will say, this is a dark frosting, so you could use regular vanilla. But I'm putting my clear. Always good to have that on here. Mixing it up.
There's that smoke we were talking
There's that
about.
smoky cocoa.
I sometimes make a double batch of the frosting so that we can have a lot of frosting on it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm gonna kind of show,
Okay?
just when you get it to the consistency. I think buttercream's kind of forgiving.
Yes.
You can always add a little more butter, you can add a little more milk, until you're getting it to the consistency and sweetness and chocolatiness that you want. So, give me a spoon.
Yes.
You can always just give it a little taste.
So good.
So we're going to leave that there because, like Kevin said, I have made a batch up ahead of time and we've got it ready to go.
And while you were washing your hands, I'm going to cut the cake and get it ready for you to frost. How about
Okay,
that?
you're going to show people how to create
Yeah.
the bûche.
So the first thing we want to do is we want to cut the ends off. Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Nice roll.
Look at that nice roll.
Prue would say that's a nice roll.
That's a nice roll. I'm going to do the other end. Now, you can, I don't know how Barb wants to do it, but you can leave the ends open or you can close them up, whatever you want to do.
I like to
As
leave them
far as
open
frosting. Okay.
just because you see that
Okay.
roll. Okay, here's
So,
the important thing.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to think of this in thirds. So 2/3 for the log, and then we're going to do 1/3 for the branch that shoots off. So we're going to cut it about right there. I'm just eyeing it.
Like nature, it's not
Yeah.
perfect.
So we're going to put the log onto our plate. Oh, look at that, Barb. It's perfect.
Oh, nice.
All right, now what we want to do is we want to take just the bottom part of this off and cut it at an angle this way. Because that's going to attach to our,
Oh, yes.
and there we have it. Now don't worry about this space, because what are we going to do with that?
We're gonna fit it with frosting.
All right, I'm going to put
Look
this
at
over
that.
here.
And that's, you know, for maybe the chef to nibble
Well, we're
on.
going to sample that in just a minute.
Yeah. Okay. So we're ready to start decorating, and I've got my chocolate frosting all ready to go with that great Wilton tip, about 1.5 inches, you said?
Yep.
Makes it kind of a breeze, and we're just gonna go right along. Look at that.
Yeah, that's great.
Isn't that pretty?
See, it's so much easier than having to mess with, you know, all
Kind
the
of do
other
the
stuff.
end, and then I'll have to take a spatula, oopsie, and ooze that down on the bottom. And we're gonna keep going across the top. It's kind of fun to do it with this tip. And then we're gonna fill in that crevice with our frosting. I'm gonna be extra thick there. And the key here is have your icing the right consistency, so
Yeah.
it's ready to come out of the bag and it's easy. And
And
how
really,
do you go that way or do you keep going?
you can do whatever. I'd go
I
that
guess-
way
I think
because
you go
that's the
that way
length
because
of
it's
the
like
tree.
it broke off, right?
Yeah.
And
And we're gonna mess it up a little bit too once we get it all on there.
isn't that pretty though?
Yeah, it is pretty.
Smells good.
Yeah, you don't have to be a frosting expert to do this.
Thank goodness.
Yeah,
Look at that. And I do like to keep the end so you can see the roll. But
perfect.
that is a, you know, that's a personal choice. You can
Yep.
cover it up and then it's much more dramatic
Do a little
when
bit
you
more
cut
right there.
the cake at the
Yeah.
table, because then people see all of those swirls inside.
Perfect.
I'll put a little bit over here. I'm going to do one end so we can
Okay.
show kind of the options.
Perfect. And this is even something your kid can do.
Mm-hmm. So now you make it look like the log.
Yeah. So
You
what?
give it the bumps and the lumps.
So I just try to. We probably use a little bit more there on the end. Let's turn it around this way so they can see what we're doing.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good
Do you all
thing.
want to see too?
Yeah. There we
Yeah.
go. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you just want to make sure that, at least I try to make sure that the frosting is the same thickness all the way across. Because one of the nice things about this is, you know, the consistency of the rings. See, you don't even really have to do any more than that because it looks like a tree already.
It does. It does. And where's your paper towels?
Underneath there.
Okay.
We've just redone the set so we don't know where everything is right now.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, a lot there.
Yes. Well,
It
I was
my
filling
fault.
in that crevice.
It was my fault, I told you.
That's okay. You could take
Yeah.
some and cover up this end if you want.
Oh,
Because it's
right.
just gonna clean up this little plate area.
It's all about presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a little squirt on this end and I'll clean this up. Well, get bigger. Finish this off here.
Down where?
On the
On the
front of
end?
this, yeah. Perfect.
It's so fun to do this. And yeah, you could have your family, friend,
Yeah,
any kids around would probably love to do this part.
yeah.
So if you leave it one end open, we'll show you what it looks like over here. If you choose not to, completely covered up.
All right, I'm leaving it there because, you know, I could do this for days.
I know, that looks good.
And it looks great.
Now, you know, we're supposed to be a log in a forest, right? So what else do you need? You need some decorations.
Yes.
To make it really look rustic. And that's kind of the fun part too. So we have some different things that you can put on there.
I see a
If you've got a little,
hole.
I see a hole.
Oops, I see a hole.
Steel
you wanna do
magnolias.
that for me?
I'm gonna give you a little squirt here.
Perfect. See, there's just a little bit right there. That we
It's a
left
little
out.
puffier than I normally would
Yeah.
make it. There we go.
All right, did that get it?
I think so.
So we can hide some of that with our decorations.
Yeah. So you want to cover the end, it's going to look like this. You want to show people. Yeah, look like that. And you can make that choice. So here's our cool log. Now we're going to add some decorations. Sprigs of rosemary. Of course, you want to let people know these are not edible.
Well, it's edible, but
Yeah, I wouldn't want to gnaw on the
a few hours you might not want to be dealing with it.
those on top. Yeah.
You'd be going to see Chris.
Yes. Don't want that. And then you could sprinkle, put some little cranberries on top.
Isn't that pretty?
Look at that. And this is something, we could do a whole episode on this, but I make these meringue mushrooms.
Look at those. They look just like a mushroom.
And this you can eat.
Yeah.
Those you can eat.
And could we use those in the mushroom stuffed bread pudding that we used?
You could. It'd be kind of sweet. And you could put these around.
Perfect.
There. As fun. In nature, things come in threes, right?
They do today.
They do today. This one's going to be a 2. So we're going to set that there. This one here. Look at that.
Perfect.
And then you sprinkle a little powdered sugar on top.
Well, it's always snowing in France
It's
at
always.
this time.
It is a white Christmas after all. Oh, it's
So,
nice.
when you're sprinkling, make sure you're at least 6 inches away from the top.
Just a sprinkling.
Just
and you're going to want to do this right before you serve it. Adding your decorations.
Don't forget the mushrooms, because it doesn't just snow on the tree.
That's right. But if you wait and do this, you're going to have to redo it because the powdered sugar is just going to get absorbed into that frosting.
But make sure you do all the decoration before you do the dusting. Should be the very last thing, because you see the cranberries have the dusting on it.
Look at that.
We did it.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, a Festivus for all of us. Happy Kwanzaa. What ones
All
am
of
I
us.
missing?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but
Happy everything.
to all of you out there, we wish you the very best holiday ever and a fond farewell to 2020.
Exactly.
And we look forward to seeing everybody again in 2021.
Bye-bye.
Bye.